In addition to the damage to the basement, take a look at this vintage Chrysler right here. It's stuck about a third of the way in the mud, there are sticks all around it, and there's no telling how long it's going to be until the family can get it out. Daviana says they started chasing her here, continued to run down the hill and into the street, yanked her by the hair, and knocked her down. There are over 30 babies commemorated in this rose garden, most of them just a few days old. In Amanda's case, her son was a stillborn. The SAT measures how much a student knows in terms of college. The ACT tests students on the material they learned in high school. Based on this test, Lori, as a junior, already knows everything she needs to know in order to graduate high school. Most customers chose to get a tattoo commemorating an animal, kind of like this one. I'm standing here in front of the Barrow County Museum, which used to be the Barrow County Jail. That tall tower up there is where they used to hang the guilty. Coincidentally, it's right across the street from the Granite Hotel. The father of the family that lived in the house had a lot of collectibles from NASCAR, like a signed Dale Earnhardt clock, and even this stuff from Bill Elliott that's still sitting here on the site. Why is this a common sight in downtown Winder? I'm going to tell you coming up. You'll never believe it, but I'm going to tell you what happens when a dump truck meets two cop cars. An Athens man wins an award, but that's not all that's cool about him. Find out what else next on Grady News Source. It's a local park. Kids, families come here to play without fear. Until recently, when a group of teens chose this location to harass random parkgoers, including 16-year-old Daviana.
I walked down this hill right there and they were just getting closer and closer behind my back.
Daviana was at the park with her younger siblings when the group started picking on her.
Walked past the girl was taking off her jewelry like she was going to get ready and fight me.
Daviana says they started chasing her here, continued to run down the hill and into the street, yanked her by the hair, and knocked her down.
A boy caught me because the girls couldn't catch up with me. He grabbed me by my hair, pulled me down to the ground, and punched me in my face.
He pulled Daviana's hair so hard that some of it was lying in the street, along with beads from a necklace pulled from her neck.
I was screaming. I was telling the people, can I please call the police?
Daviana's 11-year-old sister ran to help her and was also attacked.
A 16-year-old punched me in my face and he was holding me down.
Police tell us they've seen this kind of random violence before. It's called free picking. A group of teens choose someone to beat up.
She could have been killed.
Daviana's mother says she hopes her daughter's ordeal will help spread awareness of free picking.
I feel like the community needs to know.
Daviana says she now pays attention to her surroundings, but is not afraid to keep going to the park.
Just because you jumped me doesn't mean you took my freedom away from coming to this park. I'm still going to come here.
Brittany Nicholson, Fox 5 News.
Local businesses in Barrow County are struggling to keep their heads above water. Brittany Nicholson went to Winder today to find out how businesses are going to keep swimming, despite the poor economy. What did you find out today, Brittany?
Travis, I found out that Barrow County is working on making the county more inviting for those people driving in and around the area. The local businesses are hoping that this plan works out. Denise Tarver and her husband are full-time entrepreneurs. They used to own a restaurant called Gigi's in downtown Winder, but the economy took a dip, and they were forced to close the business. The Tarvers were not alone either. As many as 100 businesses in Barrow County closed last year.
Was open about
Denise says that she and her husband poured their heart and soul into the restaurant.
And I love what I did, but it just wasn't enough business to keep the doors open.
In a twist of fate, a new restaurant is in the place where Gigi's used to be. But Denise and the owners of the new restaurant agree on one thing.
We just need more businesses here downtown.
Right.
So how does the Barrow County government plan to fix the area? It's a plan called Streetscapes.
Downtown will become, we think, inviting, wider sidewalks, more of a walkable type downtown. We think that it will be enhanced. The attractiveness of it will attract retailers back to downtown.
And with the plans brought forward by the local government, some are staying positive.
The economy, I think, I got a lot of hope for the future.
Just devastated me because I know that could have been me.
A neighbor is in shock after she watched her friend's house burn to the ground early Saturday morning.
I would say at least not even 5 minutes for the whole house to be up in flames.
The family of 5 lived in this trailer here on Briscoe Mill Road in Bethlehem. The family lost everything they own in the fire. The father of the family that lived in the house had a lot of collectibles from NASCAR, like a signed Dale Earnhardt clock, and even this stuff from Bill Elliott that's still sitting here on the site. The mother, father, and one of their 3 children were in the trailer at the time the fire started. Gina describes to me what she saw from just a few hundred feet away.
It just spread from the trailer back here. When I was standing on my front porch, I couldn't even come out on the porch. The flames were so it was so hot.
Gina then shows me where a grill was that the Barrow County Fire Department says ignited the fire. Lieutenant Scott Dakin says that a charcoal grill the family used earlier that day was still hot enough to catch their front porch on fire. He suggests that everyone who uses a grill take these precautions.
My suggestion would be if you don't want to be cooking on your deck or around up against your house or anything like that. You also don't want to be underneath overhanging leaves, tree limbs, or anything like that.
Maybe if you follow these tips, your family may be spared a devastating fire.
I mean, it hurts my feelings just thinking about it because I know all the kids' stuff was in there, and they really have nothing left.
Athens-Clarke County seems to be pedal to the metal with economic growth this year. With talk of a new big business downtown and Caterpillar moving into Athens, the area seems promising for a better economy. That may be why a national economic development consulting firm chose Athens-Clarke County as the top small county nationwide for economic growth. So what makes this county stand out against all other counties in Northeast Georgia?
Well, one big thing is the University of Georgia. Not just the fact that the university is here, but what comes out of the university in terms of the talent that is here and the talent that stays here.
In fact, every single one of the top 10 small-sized communities chosen for 2012 have a large university in them. Research and technology from the University of Georgia pour about $330 million into the economy each year. But that is not the only factor.
The music industry is a big factor because it has grown, not because anybody tried to grow it necessarily, it just kind of evolved.
The music industry and the arts set Athens apart from all other communities in the Southeast. The Athens music scene is in the ranks of Los Angeles, New York, and Nashville. The combination of music, arts, and higher education may be what makes Athens stand apart from all other small communities in the nation. In Athens, Brittany Nicholson, Grady News Source. Tonight we have the latest on one of the biggest drug busts today in Georgia. Good evening, I'm Brittany Nicholson.
And I'm Copeland Tucker, but first we have some breaking news for you.
This week in Athens, organization is featuring their 12th annual production of the Vagina Monologues. What you are seeing here are local women rehearsing for the show that runs tomorrow night through Sunday at 8 p.m. The event benefits Project SAFE, a local organization that works to end violence against women. The Vagina Monologues has been performed all over the world in over 20 languages.
Neat stuff. Now, Brittany, you were there with me on Saturday. What were your first impressions of this thing?
It was crazy. I mean, I was freezing and I wasn't jumping into ice water, so I can imagine how they were feeling.
Yeah, they were certainly feeling cold.
Will you guys be doing it next year?
I don't think so. No, not for me.
Yeah,
not for me.
No.